All right, welcome. You know how it is, right? You try to explain something to someone and they just get it completely wrong. We've all been there. But what if that someone was a computer? Because, see, they're incredibly powerful, but they take everything you say literally. So, how do you explain your ideas to a machine with perfect, absolute clarity?
And that is the heart of programming. You need a language that is precise, that's clear, and that's understood by both you and the machine. A language that lets you explain exactly what you want, perfectly. And today, we're going to dive into the basics of one of the best languages for doing just that. And that language is Python. The whole idea behind it is built around being readable and simple. Seriously, think of it less like some cryptic code and more like a structured form of English. It's designed from the ground up to help you explain your instructions logically, which makes it the perfect place to start. Okay, so let's get into it. When you want to talk to Python, you've got two main ways to do it. The easiest way to think about them is this. It's like having a live, back-and-forth chat versus writing a formal, thought-out letter. Both are super useful, but for totally different things. So on one hand, you've got interactive mode. This is your live chat. You say something, and Python immediately talks back. It's perfect for quick questions and just trying things out. On the other hand, there's script mode. This is your formal letter. You write out all your instructions from top to bottom, save them, and then hand the whole thing to Python to run all at once. This is how you build real, complete applications. All right, so let's jump into the playground first, the interactive mode. This is where you can mess around, test out ideas, and get instant feedback with basically no consequences. It's really the best way to get a feel for things. And getting there is super simple, actually. You just pop open your computer's command line or terminal, type Python, and hit enter. And when you see these three little angle brackets, that triple prompt, you know you're in. It's basically Python saying, okay, I'm listening. What do you want me to do? So let's give it an instruction. The classic, the first thing everyone does in programming is make the computer say hello. We type print, hello world, hit enter, and boom. Instantly, Python responds with hello world. That immediate feedback is the magic of this mode, right? You say something, it does it, right away. It's not just for text either. You can use it as a crazy powerful calculator. Type in 15 plus 8, hit enter, and bam! The answer 23 shows up immediately. No complex setup, just a direct back and forth where you ask for a calculation and you get it. So the big thing to remember here is that this mode is all about being temporary and immediate. It runs one line at a time. It doesn't save a thing. Once you close that window, poof, your chat history is gone, and it's absolutely perfect for those little experiments. When you're all done playing around, just type exit with the parentheses, and you're out. Okay, so now let's step out of the playground and head over to the workshop. This is script mode. When you're ready to stop messing around and start building something real, something that lasts, like a school project or a personal application, this is where the real work gets done. The workflow here is a little different. First, you open up any plain text editor. Second, you write out your full set of instructions, your entire program. Third, and this is super important, you save that file with a .py at the end. That little .py is what tells your computer, hey, this is a Python script. And finally, you hop back to the terminal and tell Python to run that specific file. So think of it like this. You've written your entire letter, you've sealed it in the envelope, that's your .py file, and now you're handing it over. Python then opens it and reads the whole thing, top to bottom, doing every single thing you told it to. It's not that back and forth chat anymore. This is the full performance of your big plan. And this slide really breaks it down perfectly, doesn't it? Interactive mode gives you that immediate feedback, one line at a time, but nothing saved. It's for experimenting. Script mode, on the other hand, runs the whole file at once, saves your work permanently in a .py file, and is built for your real projects. You're going to end up using both all the time. So it doesn't matter if you're in the chat or in the workshop, you've got to speak Python's language correctly. And just like any language, it's got grammar, a set of rules you absolutely have to follow if you want to be understood. These rules are what make it possible to explain well. And here's the deal with Python's grammar. It is strict. It's less like a suggestion and more like, well, the laws of physics for your code. If you get a rule wrong, your program just won't run. But hey, don't worry, the rules are actually pretty simple once you see them. Let's look at the big ones. First up, and probably the most unique thing you'll see in Python, is indentation. See, in a lot of other languages, you'd use curly braces or something to group your code. Python, it uses white space. Those spaces at the beginning of the line, they are not just for making it look pretty. They are the actual grammar that gives your code structure. It's how Python knows which instructions belong together, and it forces you to write clean code. Okay, so besides indentation, there are a few other big rules we gotta cover. We'll look at how Python is case sensitive, what colons and commas are for, and we'll see why those parentheses are so important when you're telling Python to do something, what we call calling a function. Let's break them down. Let's talk case sensitivity. In programming, we use things called variables as labels to store information. Now, if you create a variable called name with a big N, and later you try to refer to it as name with a little n, Python's going to have no idea what you're talking about. To the computer, those are two totally different things. Next up, the colon. The colon is basically a signal. When you write a line like if 10 greater than 5 and you put that colon at the end, you're telling Python, hey, get ready. The instructions that should happen if this is true are coming up next and they're going to be indented. It's the punctuation that organizes all your logic. And our last big rule for today is all about parentheses. Whenever you want to use a command like print, which is technically called a function, you absolutely have to follow it with parentheses. The information you want that function to work with goes right inside them. Just typing print and then your text, yeah, that's a no-go in modern Python. And that's really it. You've just gone through the absolute fundamentals of how to communicate or, explain your ideas to a computer using Python. Let's do a quick recap of what you've just learned. All right, so let's put it all together. You've now got this toolkit with two ways to work: the interactive playground for your quick tests and the script workshop for building your real stuff. You know the core rules of the grammar: indentation, case, colons, parentheses, that let Python understand you. With that foundation, you are 100% ready to start explaining your own ideas to your computer. Which, brings us to the final question. You've got the tools, you know the rules of the language, so what's the very first thing you're going to explain? What's that first idea you want to bring to life? Give it some thought, and more importantly, give it a try. Thanks for joining me.